Anxiety is high. One way in, no way out. Let's go.
Okay, now it's back to business. Gotta show them reasons why the team is undefeated. In the jungle, wrestle with the demons and the leeches. Wanna see me fall, so they join the coalition. But I've been on a mission. Gamble on me, every dollar you should wager. Best in my division, like I'm Kobe on the Lakers. Enemies arriving, I can feel the sense of danger. Yeah, here to win the battle, ain't no fear, I never waver. Yeah, I can never settle, gotta go and get it all. Every 24, I gotta hustle till I fall. Push it to the limit, like I'm Scarface, that's the law. I've been going crazy, I've been balling off the wall. I can never settle, gotta go and get it all. Every 24, I gotta hustle till I fall. Push it to the limit, like I'm Scarface, that's the law. I've been going crazy, I've been balling off the wall.
Look, coach put me in, I jumped off the bleachers. Pressure was my favorite teacher, you would never see me fold. I got the pick and roll, bro, got the give and go. Arm in the rim, feet swinging with some gusto. CB4, 5 seconds on the clock. Cross and he's supposed to drop. Shake and bake, watch the feet spread like it's country crock. Back to back wins, we the champs of the melting pot. We came to your house and turned up like it's party rock. Pressure, pain, everything that made a champ. Execute game, never was my final dance. Really made a name, let the city have a chance. We are not the same, and you can hear the people chant.
I can never settle, gotta go and get it all. Every 24, I gotta hustle till I fall. Push it to the limit, like I'm Scarface, that's the law. I've been going crazy, I've been balling off the wall. I can never settle, gotta go and get it all. Every 24, I gotta hustle till I fall.
Hey, what you need, yeah? Man, I got it, wow. What you say, hey? We about it, get the cream, yeah. Why you slacking? Why you talking all the top, boy, you capping? What you need, hey? Yeah, I got it, with the team, yeah. We about it, wow. Get the cream, yeah. Why you slacking? Why you talking all the top, boy, you capping?
Yeah, why you capping? Why you capping, no? Feel like a rubber band, I've been snapping now. Yeah, I've been up here with my team, so you know this what I mean. We've been going up like NASA.
Man, what is going on, everybody? How are you doing? Welcome to what feels like one of the OG NYYU live chats where, you know, I planned this chat this morning, by the way. I said I'm going to go live no matter what. First, originally, we tried to schedule a Bronx or Nothing podcast tonight, but without there being a Bronx or Nothing podcast tonight, I said, you know what? I'm going to still do a live because there's a very, very big series coming up for the New York Yankees. One, and two, why the hell not? I love hanging out with everybody. NYYU is doing tremendous numbers right now. Our growth is unreal. We just hit 28,000. We're about to hit 28,300 as we are 54 subscribers away, guys. So if you're not subbed, go ahead and hit that subby. But we got a night. We got a night here, and we got a lot of news that broke today. Of course, you guys know that Garrett Cole is going to be starting on Wednesday for the New York Yankees. We're going to discuss that. We also know that Anthony Rizzo is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks for the New York Yankees. I want to discuss that because the original plan that's kind of out there right now, I am not a fan of. I'm not a fan of at all. And if you guys give me 1 second here as I talk, I want to fix my mic level. I don't know why, but my mic level is very, very down. There we go. Now I'm loud and in command, baby. What is going on, chat? How is everybody doing? Smacky that likey, folks. Hitty that subby. I am going to be joined today by the great Dane Huber here any minute. Probably in the next 5 or 10 minutes, we will have Dane on. We're also going to be joined by Kev from the Bronx or Nothing podcast. Kev is going to join me for a little bit to discuss the latest on the Yankees. He's also going to talk about his time he spent today with Yankees top prospect, our good friend, Augustine Ramirez. So he's going to be talking about that a little bit. But let's start right here with the one, the only Garrett Cole making his return for the New York Yankees. And of course, that return is going to be coming against the Baltimore Orioles. The New York Yankees need Garrett Cole right now. We've seen the last two outings. Carlos Rodon had a tough one. Marcus Stroman had a tough one. And look, let's be honest here. We haven't had our ace all season, and the Yankees have kind of surpassed expectations at a rotation. I think everybody agrees with that. I don't think anybody would deny that the Yankees have done that. Now you're getting arguably the best pitcher back in Major League Baseball, Garrett Cole. And if you don't think he's the best, he's top 3 guaranteed. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, but yeah, everybody can agree on that. Garrett Cole is going to come back. The Yankees get him right back into rotation. Wednesday's start as of now was to be announced, so he just gets plugged in. It'll be Nestor Cortes followed by Garrett Cole to start the 2 games against the Baltimore Orioles, which is a big series for the Yankees. You know, the Yankees got to win this one, and I did have a super chat.
Thank you for being a friend.
Before we went live, our good friend Kev, oh my God, dropped a super chat, so we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. But, yeah, Garrett Cole getting announced to make the comeback, made his 3 minor league rehab assignments. You got to think Cole probably goes 85 pitches, maybe 90 in his first outing back, and of course facing the tough Baltimore Orioles at Yankee Stadium. The New York Yankees are a game and a half up on the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees have played great baseball, but kind of overshadowing how good the Baltimore Orioles have also been with injuries that they have had. They've been a very, very good club. They're young. They're hungry. They want the division. They want to prove last year's playoff performance was a fluke and that they can get right back into things. And the Yankees, on the other hand, are going to try to bury him a little bit. Say, hey, look, you guys might think you're all that, but this is our division this year. We're taking this thing. And look, at the end of the day, the Baltimore Orioles have the leg up on the Yankees in the series matchup. And now we go to Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees have to win this series. 2 of 3, forget a sweep. You don't have to get the sweep, but you want to at least win 2 of 3 versus the Baltimore Orioles and go from there, kind of build off of that. And now the news with Anthony Rizzo, being hurt. I'm very, very happy to have Dane available. He is waiting in the waiting room right now. We're going to get Dane in here momentarily. But here's what I don't want to happen. And it's kind of been already announced by Ken Rosenthal that this is the way the Yankees are going to go. I am not happy about this, not one bit. Let me switch over here to the secondary screen here. Anthony Rizzo has a fracture in his arm. 4 to 6 weeks out is estimated. LeMahieu is likely to play first base, and Oswaldo Cabrera is going to play third base. Guys, I'm going to say this frank, and I'm going to say this as honest as I can. The Yankees are set to look like they want to win a World Series. You cannot start 2 bench players. You can't do it. This is what the old Yankees would have done. You cannot do what the old Yankees used to do, and that is starting guys who don't even deserve the start anymore. This is typical smart or Yankees. Why would you decide on doing this? To me, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is going right back to why the Yankees have lost in years past. They're scared to take the step. What has TJ Rumfield done in AAA, or Ben Rice, whoever you like, who I'm going to have Dane on momentarily to speak about? What have these guys not done to simply say, bring them up? I like Oswaldo Cabrera. Guys, you're fooling yourselves. He's a bench player. DJ LeMahieu, at this point of his career, is a bench player. The Yankees are looking to win a division against the other best team in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles. You do that by taking chances with your youth. The Orioles have done it. They're a prime example. Got a hole to fill? Go to the minor leagues. The Yankees got holes to fill, and they throw a Band-Aid on it. This mindset doesn't allow us to win. This is the wrong mindset to have. Whether you want to say, well, good, it's early, we can wait at least until the deadline to make a trade for a first baseman. But then what the hell is the minor league system utilized for? What's the reason of having a minor league system? So guys, with that being said, I'm going to bring in our very own Dane Huber. Dippity doo says, Tum Tiddly Tay, IKF was safe. You better believe that son of a bitch was safe. I agree with you. I think he was also. I believe we have the great Dane Huber with us. Dane, you there, my friend?
I'm here, buddy.
Oh, that handsome son of a bitch. Where is he? There he is. Oh,
What
look
up,
at that
guys?
handsome devil.
What up, chat? How are you guys? Been a minute.
It has been a minute, you handsome son of a bitch. Yeah, I tell you right now. Let me tell you, I love you, Dane.
I love you too, buddy. I missed you.
You better. I'd feel bad if you said, you know what, Pete, I really don't like you that much. That would make me feel really bad. So I'm happy you didn't go that route. But Dane, let's talk, man. We got a lot to talk about. I got you for about 20 minutes.
Sure.
So I want you to drop the knowledge on us. Anthony Rizzo goes down. First of all, do you agree with the idea that the Yankees are going to go with LeMahieu at first base and Cabrera at third?
How can I say it? Hell no.
Facts. I am right there with you, man. Do you look, Dane, this is the way I see it. These are two bench guys at this point.
Absolutely. DJ, just the bat looks slow. He's hitting into so many ground balls that's horrible. This is a team that's trying to win the division and go to a World Series since they haven't done since 2009.
Yep.
You've got to take a chance with a couple of the kids, and you've got some kids ready. But
Facts.
The question is, which one?
Yeah, and that's what we got you on here for. I want to ask you about the two that everybody is going bananas about. Well, let me be fair. I think the fans are really going bananas about one of these guys, and that is, of course, Ben Rice. The other one being TJ Rumfield. I'm a believer in TJ Rumfield, just because of the defense. So you're the man. John Brophy's in the chat saying, call up TJ Rumfield. You let me know what you think, Dane. Tell me about these guys.
Ben Rice is hitting 275, 393, 925 with 12 doubles and 15 home runs on the year. He's splitting time between catcher and first base. He's not quite the defender at first base that TJ is. Not many people are, but he can handle the position. He's got the little bit higher offensive ceiling in the bat. But TJ is absolutely no slouch. But they've got to make a decision. Rice has got to go on the 40-man eventually. They've got 38 guys on the 40-man, so they can actually call up two players.
Correct.
I think one of them should be a reliever, and the other one should be Rice. But TJ is not a bad option.
Yeah.
TJ's hitting 305, 370 with an 871 OPS. He's got 14 doubles and 5 home runs at this point. So the power isn't there, but he is a Gold Glove caliber defender at first base. And he won the minor league Gold Glove last year, I believe, at first base. So he's a really, really solid option. And then there's a third guy that makes a little bit less sense, but that's Augustine. Yeah. Augustine's on the 40-man. He's played some first base, and his bat has...
you don't want to see him over there at first base. I love a goose. And then look, he can learn the position. My man's a brick over there at first. I love a goose. He's built like a fridge.
Absolutely.
He's a tank of a dude. My first baseman needs to have a little athleticism. That's not a knock on a goose. Don't beat me up if you see me, my guy. I'm just saying, a goose ain't ready for a first base at the major league level.
Well, based on athleticism, he's got 13 stolen bases. So
well, no, I'm not saying he's not athletic, but he's not doing those splits over there at first base to get the ball out of the ground. But my guy, I understand everybody. The majority of people are going to be thinking bat first, right? When you talk about calling somebody up, it's always bat first. Well, if you're looking at the two bats of the two guys we talked about, Ben Rice is obviously the guy. He's a year older than TJ Rumfield. For me, the way I see this is like this, and I want to see if you agree with me. I think the majority of us probably agree that Anthony Rizzo doesn't come back next year.
No,
You agree with that?
100%.
This is a great time for the Yankees to see what they have.
It is.
It's a great time for the Yankees to say, hey, let's give this kid a shot. Give him the 2 months, whatever it is. Let's see what we have here. Maybe we'll be shocked. I mean, at the end of the day, Anthony Rizzo's production hasn't been nothing to ride home with. So if one of these guys perform a little better and play a decent job at first base, sign me up. Sign me up all day. And the reason why I personally would favor Rumfield is because of the glove. If there's one guarantee, I think, out of both players, the biggest guarantee you'd have is that Rumfield can handle the position very good.
Absolutely. It would be a seamless transition to him at first base defensively. He's going to pick everything. You know, other than Volpe, we don't have a lot of great infield arms. So we need somebody who's used to scooping the ball, who's used to making that play. We don't want a below average defender like a Goose would be, unfortunately, at this point. But I think TJ makes the most sense. He's probably the most ready on both sides of the ball, and that's what you're looking for at this point. And if he performs well, maybe he's your first baseman next year.
That's the reason why I feel like this is an opportunity almost for the Yankees to say, even, you know, if one of these guys perform a bit, it is an opportunity for us to say, even if you get sent down, keep working. But we know we have that option right there. We know we have the option.
Absolutely. And they're also, I read that they may look at Austin Wells a little bit at first base. Don't know how that's going to play. He has the ADHD, and that's why he wants to stay behind the plate, because he can't concentrate as well at first base. But he is definitely an option there because he's played some first base in college.
Yeah, and I know there was a video or something recently of him taking grounders and doing some work over at first base. I'm trying to piece together something else, because somebody in the chat brought this up. Rob, I'm going to get to your super chat here in 1 second, but somebody brought this up. Somebody said, do you think Peraza gets called up? He's on the 40 man. I mean, he's been terrible in AAA. Do you think that's something the Yankees just say, you haven't played well, we'll throw you on the bench, maybe you get a start every now and then at third base?
It doesn't solve any problems. You need to solve a problem at first base. But
see, that's the thing, Dane, right there. See, you just summed it up for me. But DJ LeMahieu's not doing that. So why are the Yankees still in this mindset that that's the route we're going to go? It's so stupid.
It is. It's horrifically stupid. And I think that they're going to call one of those two kids up, either Rice or Rumfield, and we'll live with the results. But if there was a time for this to happen, this is the best time for it to happen with Rizzo.
I agree.
Because you have a month and a half before the trade deadline. If you have to go get a first baseman, at least you can evaluate these two kids at the position and see what you have.
Yep. No doubt about it. And again, you said your preference would be Ben Rice.
I think so.
Is that just basically more bat related because he fits the lineup better?
It is. I think that Ben Rice can be a special hitter, and his swing is tailor-made for Yankee Stadium. But he's a better defensive catcher than he is a first baseman. So if we're looking for the best in the chat, if we're looking for the best defender, that's TJ Rumfield, and it's not close.
And that's something where I just feel like that's where the value in this moment comes from. Now, we can all also sit here and go, well, to be fair, it's not like they've got a lot of production from any position in the infield besides catcher. I mean, besides shortstop. With Anthony Volpe.
Right.
Nobody else has really stepped up and had great production. Anthony Rizzo hasn't done great production, so maybe it does help the Yankees to go, if this guy could be average at first base at best and continue the same type of performance, maybe that is worthwhile to call up. But do you think the Yankees want to see Rice in AAA for a little longer? Because he did recently just get called up. I mean, he tore up AA.
Right. AAA pitching is actually easier than AA
Right.
pitching. So
Right.
that's the tougher level. Do I think that, look, the bottom of the order hasn't been getting much production at all. So if you put
Correct.
another no bat or less of a bat and TJ down there,
Yep.
what's the offensive production going to do? Not much. You put Ben
Facts.
Rice there, maybe you get some offensive production out of the bottom of that order.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That could definitely help. Again, I'm gonna see if John Brophy in the chat. I sent a link also to you in the business chat. So if you want to pop on there, we'll get you on also. And then we're also expecting Kev to join us. He was hanging out with a goose today.
I saw that.
by
I
the way.
retweeted the picture. That looked awesome.
Yes, sir. He was hanging out there with a goose. They did a little showing today, and Kev was there to help translate with him. So
Awesome.
look at that. You see NYU, Dane. This that's who we are.
It's who we are.
That's who we are, OV. It's who we
There
are.
ain't
over here.
anybody else like us, bud.
Before I have you drop off, Dane, give me your thoughts on the return of Garrett Cole.
It's huge. And that they're not sending Luis Heel to the bullpen at this point is an even bigger win. I think that Cole looked incredible in his start on Saturday. With the 10 strikeouts, he looked good.
Yeah.
If he comes up and it doesn't perform like a Cy Young guy right away, it's okay because we still have Luis Heel pitching very, very well. So adding Cole just makes this rotation even better. And ahead of the Baltimore series, I think it's a really great move to get him up.
Sorry, Dane. I was just
No,
double checking. So I'm trying to get everybody coordinated here to hop on. Give me 1 second.
Another guy I wanted to talk about bringing back up was Yoendry Gomez.
For real, why is he down for? I don't get it. Like I was thinking about him earlier, and I was like, it feels like they're just dicking around with this guy at this point. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. He's got 6 strikeouts in 3 major league innings. So if we are lacking strikeout guys in our bullpen right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Tommy Kahnle has not looked good.
Not at all. Not at all. And the scary thing with Tommy Kahnle is he doesn't have that 95, 96 anymore.
No.
Kahnle is sitting with the changeup, and then he's throwing a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball that just doesn't really seem to be fooling anybody. The changeup is still a plus, don't get me wrong.
There's not enough separation between the two.
Exactly. He looks a lot different when he's sitting there hitting, your 95, 96s. It's tough. And maybe he's building up still because he didn't get a ton of time down there. So the bullpen is definitely a bit of a suspect for the Yankees. And I know that a lot of people have brought this up, but that's why I said it's so big for people to listen to shows like the Farm Report, because you get to learn about a lot of these guys. There's multiple options on the right-handed side when it comes to the Yankees. Jack Neely is another guy that I continue to talk about that at this point, what else does he have to prove at the AA level that he can handle the major leagues?
Nothing. Last appearance he had, he struck out all 3 guys he faced.
So that's my thing. When, I understand fans a little panicky when it comes to the pen. The one thing I will say about the Yankees, and I will tip my cap to them on, is that they've done a good job of putting bullpens together. They typically seem to figure it out, right? They typically seem to have a way of figuring this stuff out and getting it in line and getting it set straight. When it comes to the left-handed side of the ball, they got Barclay down there, but really nobody else, and he's not a flamethrower. I feel like they need somebody that could miss bats from the left side. What do you think?
I absolutely do. And I think that guy is probably Tanner Scott. As much as everybody wants him, he's got AL East experience. He used to be pitched for the Orioles, and the guy strikes out a ton of guys. And this is something Francis and I were talking about last night on our space. The obvious name for the Yankees is probably not the one that they're going to get. So I would say that we should start looking around at other guys that we can pair with Matt Blake, because look at Tonkin. He had a horrible appearance in his first outing. He's been cut by 2 teams this year.
Yep.
And now he's got a low an ERA below 2 for us. I mean,
Yeah,
Matt
Michael
Blake
Tonkin's been good.
So there might be a couple lefties. Jojo Reyes is someone that has come up from the Cardinals. I would really like to see Andrew Nardi. He's got a little bit more control in as far as years. I think he's got 4 years of control, so he's going to be a little bit more expensive. But we do not have left-hand bullpen options in the system.
Correct.
Brock, go ahead.
No, I was going to say a guy like Nardi, to me, I know some people may see his numbers and be like, oh, man, that concerns me a bit. But you put a guy like him with Blake, he throws hard. If there's a couple of things that Blake could work on with him, the guy could be absolutely electric out of the Yankees pen.
I got a dream project for Matt Blake.
Who's that?
Ben Joyce.
Ben Joyce from, that is...
Anaheim,
correct.
Throws 105 miles.
Can we do a little him and Luis Rengifo maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. You know, the command ain't great and the sequencing is bad. What does Blake fix?
Both.
Exactly. So if you have a guy that throws 104, 105 in the bullpen and he can be effectively wild, that's a hell of a weapon. And he's not going to cost the farm to go get because he's got a 12 ERA right now.
Oof, my goodness. And then, you know, Rengifo or somebody like that just makes a shit ton of sense. Even makes even more sense now for the Yankees because let's just say, for an example, even when Anthony Rizzo returns, how sure are you of Anthony Rizzo? You know,
I have no confidence in him anymore.
It wasn't like Anthony Rizzo was putting up these insane amount of numbers before, and now you get him back. You're like, all right, he's going to pop right back into what he was. You don't really expect that from Anthony Rizzo.
No, you don't. Unfortunately, he has not been the same player since the concussion.
Right.
He was the guy coming in before he got hurt with the Tatis injury. He looked like he was going to be the all-star at first base, and he just hasn't been anywhere close to that player.
Yeah.
You can't a championship team can't live with problems at both corner infield spots. Yeah. So I think that going and getting somebody makes all the sense in the world.
Agreed. And then I just want to address something that Uncle Dom said. He said, Blake can't fix Ferguson. Let me tell you something about Ferguson. Ferguson was throwing 96, 97. He ain't doing that no more. I don't think there's much you could fix on that. If he just doesn't have the velo no more, he is who he is right now. You might be getting the best you could get out of him at the moment. He used to throw 95, 96 with ease.
97
with LA,
even.
97 even, and that's what you need right now. If he was able to do that, he'd be a much better pitcher. Fact of the matter is, he doesn't have that no more, so... what are you going to do? But Dane, I'm going to have you hop off. We got John Brophy in the waiting. My good friend, great seeing you again on here.
Thank you, guys. I'll be back more soon.
We better believe it. Guys. We'll talk to you soon,
guys.
Dane.
Bye, chat.
Thank you, my friend. Before we get John Brophy on, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to our first voicemail. We got a couple of them on here, but let's get to the first one here.
Pete, Dane, Kev, Uncle Dom here.
Yo.
Guys, listen, it's been a hell of a 2 years for Rizzo, huh? Bad breaks to him, but as one door closes, listen, another door opens. And they must go. I couldn't agree with you more, Pete. They have to go with TJ. Not the DJ, but the TJ. DJ's got to be out there platooning with Oswaldo, and the kid, you know, has to do his thing. And maybe, you know, we'll get something. We'll get something that can help us win a game or two.
Yeah.
Or more.
You never know.
But now's the time. So let's do it. I'm going to be at the game Wednesday night.
Okay.
I got tickets for Father's Day, and I can rest assured that I will be rooting my ass off for Cole like no other, man, and I will do all I can to help get that W from where I'm sitting. Love you guys. Let's do it.
Appreciate you, Dom. Thank you so much, my friend. No doubt about it. Yeah, you can't go DJ LeMahieu. You can't go DJ LeMahieu right there. But we got a super chat from the one and only Rod Thompson.
Thank you for being a friend.
When the Yankees do right now to solve first base, and what they do at the trading deadline is going to show me how serious they are about going for it. Are they all in? We will see. Look, I'm going to get John Brophy in right now, but no, look, man, I'm right there with you. I don't like this idea that we're going to go with DJ LeMahieu. It's ridiculous. This is what the fellas always talk about, smart or Yankees. It's exactly what this is, smart or Yankees. And Yankees can't be that. They got to just be smart at this point. We are getting John Brophy in right now, folks. Give us 1 second as he gets on here. Bernard says, what are they doing with Poteet? He's got to stay, I think. We're going to see. We're going to see what the corresponding move is. But we do have John Brophy here. John, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear and see me?
Oh, we hear and see you. There he is. The one and only, the generational John Brophy is here with us. So, John, I gotta start right there. You're the first person to tell me and open my eyes up about TJ Rumfield. For you, is he the guy?
I think so. I think the whole thing makes sense, especially with the fact that he's more of a natural first baseman compared to Ben Rice, where Ben Rice is more the utility guy. Between the two of them, he can play first base, kind of, but it's not his natural spot. And I think Dane was alluding to that earlier.
Yeah, he alluded that he's definitely a better defensive catcher than he is a first baseman. But
yeah,
a lot of people are going to see it as Dane saw it, right? Ben Rice is the guy that's kind of catching on a little more than everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's had this video game style numbers almost the last 2 years. He carried it over in AA, goes up to AAA, and just keeps hitting. He doesn't stop hitting. Do you think the Yankees see that more as a, bring this guy up, or do we think this guy's going to get asked about at the deadline? Let him keep tearing the cover off of the ball in AAA.
I mean, I think they could go either way, really, because, I mean, I know you guys were talking about a goose earlier, and part of me feels like they're going to have Ben Rice available so that they can go chase a Rengifo or, whatever they want to do at the deadline, and then because they have Narvaez as an option if they needed to call somebody up in AAA. He's already on, I think he's on I don't know if he's on the 26, but I know he's on the 40-man at least.
He's on the 40, yep.
And then they got to do something with a goose because I think he's Rule 5 eligible this year if he isn't already.
Oh, there's a lot. They have a lot.
I know
on
they have
that list. That
this is a huge year for them. Yeah,
it's a big year. Yeah, it's a big year. And Rumfield got to be on there.
I think this is the year.
Yeah,
it's like him and Spencer and a whole bunch of other guys.
So you're with me. You would prioritize more of the natural first baseman with the defense. Now, would you prioritize that over what the Yankees' apparent plan is, putting DJ LeMahieu over there at first base and Cabrera at third?
That's just 2023 Yankees is what that sounds like. That sounds like they're not serious.
Thank you. I'm happy you're saying it because that's exactly the way I feel about it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense having. I mean, you have all this talent in the farm system. Why are you going to put out a Band-Aid just so that you can, and then you're going to play like you were saying, that they're only a game and a half ahead of the Orioles.
Yep.
And they're going to put that out there. I mean, and no disrespect to DJ or Oswaldo, they're good players, but they're not good players with the Yankees per se. They're not.
Correct.
They're not championship caliber.
Yeah, and the way I see it is a championship caliber team. Like, I think we can all agree that the New York Yankees can very well be that. I believe that this roster has a couple of adjustments to make to truly be a championship caliber team. They got a great record. We know all that. They obviously have some flaws. The Red Sox exposed some of it yesterday. I think it might be a little overblown because I watched some of it again. A lot of those guys were over halfway up the line before Stroman was even heading home. And there wasn't much of a chance with some of those. I'm not throwing all the blame on Marcus Stroman. I'm not throwing all the blame on Trevino, but there was a lot of that at play if you rewatch it. I watched it again instead of just being in the moment, and you could see that a lot of those guys had way too big of jumps at first base, that Trevino and nobody really would have had a chance. But when you look at this, a team that is vying for a World Series, John, I just don't think you should be starting guys that, to be fair, they're more of bench players at this point. And again, like you said, I love DJ LeMahieu. I love Oswaldo Cabrera. But we got to be honest about who these guys are. They're probably not starters on a World Series caliber team at this point in their career.
No. Like you said, they'd be good bench players. Somebody gets hurt, heaven forbid somebody gets hurt. You're doing your World Series run. Yeah, okay, you can throw them out there because you have nobody else. You can't call up a kid when you're in the playoffs. That's what the extra two guys are for. I mean, if it were me and it were a perfect world, Caleb Durbin wasn't hurt, he'd be the guy that I'd call up. And then you have the flexibility, like, okay, you have the flexibility of putting either Oswaldo or DJ, either first or third. You have Caleb Durbin over at third. He can play second base even, with the way that Glaber has been.
Yep.
But he's hurt. Hopefully we get an update on him tomorrow with the new series starting up. So hopefully he's back. I haven't heard anything, but that I would say they need to look at TJ. They need to look at Caleb. Pitching, I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do about the pitching. We got to see.
Let me get your opinion real quickly too on a guy that is on the 40 man that they could call up. That some people in the chat were saying maybe they go that route. Does Oswald Peraza deserve a shot right now?
I don't think so. I don't think he's been playing that great.
I hate that too because I'm such a fan of him.
I've been rooting for him, forever, and they haven't given him the shot that he's deserved. But now he's really showing that he doesn't really deserve a shot right at the moment. Maybe later you give him a couple weeks, maybe he's hitting 300. Who knows? But right now it's not it.
Yeah, and I think some people are thinking that because if they are going to go with that, they probably need a guy to come up. But I think Kevin Reese would be that guy. Before anybody. Kevin Reese? No, Kevin Reese. What am I talking about? Kevin Reese. My goodness. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith would probably be the guy they would go to. I'm going years back with he's in there. He's like one of their minor league directors or something.
Yeah,
now,
he's the guy in charge of the minor leagues.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if he obviously deserves a shot, but on the pitching side, I know you've seen a lot of guys like Jack Neely. What's your thoughts on him? Do you think we see him at the major league level at some point?
I think he's going to be when they do the roster expansion towards the end of the year, unless there's some sort of a need, more urgent. Once we get around the deadline, I mean, I really hope they hang on to him, but at the same time, if they really, really need somebody, maybe he gets dealt. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I know he'd break my heart, and I know it'd break your heart, but maybe
I just want to see him up here. I don't think there's much more that he needs to really prove in Double A. The strikeout numbers are certainly elite. He's a huge guy, 6'8", throws hard, a 2-pitch guy, but 2+ pitches, and he puts batters away. I mean, the Yankees don't have a lot of guys in that bullpen right now that put batters away. Not a lot of swing and miss in the Yankees pen right now, and you need that in the postseason.
Yeah, and like Dane was saying earlier, Edgar would be the guy that I'd go to as far as a lefty.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty good. They've been using him kind of more of a starter role. So I would say that, and I don't know what their plans are for Nestor. Just there's a lot of stuff up in the air. I would say he makes more sense as like a long reliever. Yeah. I think you were talking about that one of the past shows.
Yep.
And I could see them doing the same thing with Edgar. Maybe as a setup guy. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities just because of the way that he's been used throughout the system.
Right. So I'm going to ask you because, I think we kind of know the Yankees, and I just hope that the Yankees are different. They've proven me wrong a lot over the last couple of weeks. Before I let you go, because we're going to have Kev join us here any second. Before I let you go, do you think there's a call-up, or do you think they stick with what they have?
I think they stick with what they have, and then when it kind of burns them, I think they're going to, we probably should have done this.
So regular Yankees.
You know how it goes.
It's so regular. And I hate, it's just unbelievable that we all know, right? It's like, well, what's going to happen is they'll go with it and then it's going to burn them and then go, all right, let's make the call now. And it's like, it's just so regular Yankees
it doesn't change
right now. It just does not change. And, the NYYST guys a couple of years ago made a quote, and I always say it's one of my favorites. They say, are they going to be smart or Yankees? And they just keep going the Yankee way. And it's always the wrong way. Yeah. And there it goes again. A chocolate in the chat says, typical, it's like they have no sense of urgency.
No.
I was talking to Dane earlier about this, and I said, they're probably not going to bring back Anthony Rizzo next year. You got a $6 million buy, and I think he gets like almost close to $20 million, I think, if they decide on bringing him back. I don't see them doing that.
No.
Isn't this just a great opportunity to sit there and go, let's see who one of these kids are? Because again, what production has Rizzo been giving even offensively that, worries you about calling the kid up?
Yeah, and now, like you say, now it's the right time because you can, if you're going to protect Rumfield anyways, Put him on the 40 man. Make a move so you can do whatever you got to do. Put him on the 40 man. At least he's protected. You call him up if he doesn't meet expectations, you just send him back down and you just do your patch job with DJ and Oswaldo.
And let me tell you this, you know more about him than I do, but from the stuff I've watched, I will tell you this right now, and you guys can bookmark this and wait for it. TJ Rumfield's going to get a chance with somebody. Yep. He's a great glove at first. He's lefty. He's a huge target. He's 6'5", 225 pounds. He is a perfect first baseman. Let me tell you something. The Yankees have always had a good lefty hitting first baseman. And I'm not saying that TJ Rumfield is expected. He comes up and he bats 300. He's doing what he's doing in AAA. But even if TJ Rumfield was able to hit 240 at the major league level, get on base at a decent clip, and able to be a 15 to 20 homer guy, max, playing Gold Glove defense, that's everything you'd want.
Yeah. And
it's worth the risk. It is worth the risk. And now it's not like the Yankees are saying we're DFAing Rizzo and we're taking a big risk on this kid. You're not. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, John, I'm going to have you jump off if you don't mind. I appreciate you joining us, my friend. We're going to get Kev from Bronx and Nothing on now. Any last words, John, real quick?
Nope. If you guys are in Tampa, I'll be at the Tarpons game tomorrow. Make sure you say hi.
There you go. Make sure you guys say hi to John Brophy. If you don't, I'll be very upset with you, okay? Thank you, John. Yeah, guys, so let's get into another voicemail as we wait for Kev to join us. He is going to be joining us momentarily. Once he gets in here, we'll let Kev in to discuss a little bit more. But let's get to our next voicemail as we wait.
Yeah, what up, Simonetti? The one and only Philly neighborhood DJ Studio with the book calling in again. How you doing, bro? How you doing? I'm doing a little better, honestly.
Okay.
I want to shout you out, man. I want to shout the chat out for, giving me support, man. Thank you guys for, worrying about me. Yeah, it was just back spasms. They gave me muscle relaxers. They were trying to give me steroids. I'm like, nah, just give me muscle relaxers.
Yo,
man.
You should have took them.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Took the roids.
Man. So with the Yankees, man, I feel like they definitely need to bring up either Ben Rice or TJ Rumfield at this point because, I'm not a big follower on prospects, so excuse me on that. But if you guys say Rumfield is the right guy, then bring him up. There's no hurting on that. Bring him up, let's see what he could do, build him up, and we'll go from there. Let's just hope that, this setback right now doesn't derail the Yankees in general from winning the World Series this year. But how do you feel about this upcoming series against the O's? Because with what I see with the O's, I feel like their weakness is their starting rotation. I don't know what you think, but yeah, want to hear your guys' thoughts or your thoughts, Pete. Sorry, man, I'm like a little high right now on this medication.
Nah, bro, you good.
But yeah, let me before I go, let me hit you with a little jokey joke.
Of course.
So why did the Rolling Stones stop making music? Because it got to the bottom of the hill. Gotta go, peace.
It's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. I gotta give him credit, man. That is not a bad one. I'm just saying. That's not a bad one at all. I appreciate when Steelio, breaks out the book and it's a good one. I gotta say I appreciate it.
Thank you for being a friend.
Rod Thompson says Yankees need to shit or get off the pot. No Band-Aid repairs. That's my concern. It's kind of more the same shit. But no, really quickly with the Baltimore Orioles series, the Yankees got Cortez tomorrow, Garrett Cole, and then Louis Hill. So they got good guys going. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we got good guys on the mound there. But without further ado, guys, I got to bring on my brother, the one, the only Kev.
Yo.
What is going on, my guy? Let me switch over to the screen. Where's he? There he is.
Oh, there you got me? Okay.
Let me tell you something, man. My man right now, he's living off a high, man. He's living off a high right now. He was chilling with a goose. I'm going to get you fixed, Kev. There we go.
Oh, you got me? Okay. I thought I had to do it manually over here. You know what I'm saying?
Over. You got to do it manually. Over.
I was just texting with Carlos because me and Carlos been texting back and forth because this whole Rizzo news and who do we think is up. And then I saw you and I was watching you and Dane and now John talk about the Rule 5 and the list
It's
that
huge.
that Carlos sent me, man. It hurts some of those
You
guys.
got it on you?
Yeah.
What are some of the big names
So
on there?
some of the big names are Ben Rice, TJ Rumfield, Caleb Durbin, Brandon Lockridge, Elijah Dunham, Will Warren, and Zach Messenger and Jack Neely, who we're high on. So those are just to name a few. They're not keeping all those guys. Oh, your guy, Benjamin Cowles, too, who's on fire.
And Ben Cowles is, I actually talked about him today when people were talking about, infield options. Benjamin Cowles is a guy that has to really start getting serious consideration at second base potentially. So they got a lot of them there. But what's your thoughts on first? What do you think they do? I mean, they're kind of already announcing that they're sticking to the same bullshit of the Yankees the last multiple years of DJ LeMahieu and Cabrera. It's wrong in my opinion. It's not the right move.
It's horrible. It sucks that Caleb Durbin is hurt.
Yeah,
because I would accept it if they call Caleb and they give Caleb some play at third and second.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm okay because we're getting a guy who slaps the ball over the place and is a phenom on the bases. Because that's the main thing that I like about Caleb. Caleb runs. I think he's one of the best guys that we have down there, and that's what we heard from the Dodgers. Yeah. But at this point, I mean, they did say it's a fracture, right? Yes. I haven't looked on. Okay, yes, so that has to be, was that 4 to 8 weeks?
It's saying right now 4 to 6, but these are the New York Yankees saying that, so you're looking at least 8 weeks. That's what I'm. The Yankees do this all the time. 4 to 6, it ends up being 9 weeks.
Even if it's 4 to 6, the Yankees would be smart and still 60-day and protect the guy that you mostly want from here.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like we know Rizzo's not coming back next year, Pete. I mean, we can. I think it's clear as day. If the Yankees bring this guy back, I don't know what they're doing. As much as he's buddy with Judge, you have to understand that there's times that listen, Posada is Derek Jeter's compadre, meaning they have the godson, the godfather of Posada's son is Jeter, and how they treat Posada
like brothers.
How did they treat Posada? So when did this stop? Where we have to put relationships in between winning? I'm sorry, Pete, but winning comes first.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel. Winning comes first. You got too many guys that are clogging up spaces there, and the team, like you said, got exposed this weekend. So if the Yankees don't call anybody besides a Pereira or something like that, I'm going to be real upset because Ben Rice deserves a shot 100%. TJ Rumfield deserves a shot if we're going defense first at first base.
Yep.
So, and shout out to Brophy because Brophy mentioned TJ Rumfield way before any of us thought. I mean, pretty sure Carlos knew about him, but Brophy's like, nah, you got to watch TJ. A guy who hits for contact but has a great glove. So if you want defense to improve and you want more contact, then that's the guy you call up. If you go on a guy that that its defense is not first, but this bat is right on point, then you call Ben Rice if you're looking for pop. But the Yankees don't need pop right now. I think the Yankees need a guy who can consistently put the ball and play in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, and we got Los in the chat. Los, let me know what you would do in the chat. I'd love to hear what you think you should do. So Dane is going Ben Rice. I'm going Rumfield. Brophy's going Rumfield. Who would you go with? I'm putting you on the spot because I know this is a huge Ben Rice. Ben Rice recognized this dude in spring training, just so everybody is aware.
I'm a huge Ben Rice guy. Like I like Ben Rice to me, man. Like before he really exploded, like August is doing this year. I mean, yeah, it depends what the Yankees want. I mean, if knowing what the Yankees would do, it looks like it'd be Rumfield because it's defense first. But
see, that's the way I see it too.
That's the only reason why. I mean,
here I think is a very, very fair assumption to make. And we got a super chat from Jeff. I got you, my guy. I'm gonna get to your voicemail because I want to hear it what you say about the fracture.
Oh, good,
But for me personally, the one thing I think we can guarantee out of both of these players, the main guarantee here is that Rumfield can handle first base defensively.
100%.
Because look, you can put up all the beautiful numbers in the minor leagues all you want. That's cool.
But you don't know
at that major league level, you can't guarantee that Rice is going to put up any of that level of production. He could. We're not saying he can't, but the glove is going to be there. We expect that should stay.
And the last thing you need is to call up a kid who cannot perform offensively and is hurting you defensively. The Yankees cannot do that right now.
And then he gets sent back down, and who knows how he performs then in AAA.
So as much as that man, Ben's my guy.
Yep.
Trust me, he is.
He is, I know.
I think the situation that the Yankees are in, just because of defensive purposes, I think TJ, and again, it's not nothing. Let's not take away anything from TJ as well. TJ's a guy who hits for contact.
He's having a great year.
He's a lefty as well, and you might see extra home runs there because of Yankee Stadium, right? But again, defense is coming first, I think, right now, and I think TJ's the guy. I think all of us confirm. I know. What did Dane say? Ben?
Dane is the only person that said Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Los is now on the side of Rumfield. I think you're saying Rumfield.
Yeah.
And another thing that I got to shout out.
It hurts me. Arroz, my guy.
Well, Los is right because we're sitting here and we're talking very highly of Ben Rice's bat, but we're also forgetting that Rumfield has had a bat this year. He has over 800 OPS. He got the 5 homers, 14 doubles or something along those lines, a 300 average, all of this basically being in AAA. So this guy's putting up the numbers too. It's not like he's a slouch.
Yep. Well,
big body, 6'5", 225. That's great for a first baseman.
Shout out to Brophy who said, Kev talking about Ben Rice like he's BFFs with him, but bro didn't almost get hit by Ben Rice's first pro home run like I did. So Brophy, is there a vendetta with you and Ben Rice? Like that's why, because you almost got hit by his home run?
And there might be a little something there. But before we move forward,
if Ben Rice's defense was there,
he's the guy. 100%.
He would be the guy. But TJ's defense on first is just unmatched right now.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
I'm
gonna make a prediction, and nobody's gonna like this. I think Ben Rice stays in the minors, sole purpose to build his trade value. I truly believe. I've been saying this for a while. I think Ben Rice is gonna be a guy that a lot of teams are going to be asking about for a very, very long time. I believe he's going to be a guy that's eventually going to likely be dealt. That is my opinion. Now, I have no evidence behind this. I think he's just going to be a name that's going to be very popular at the deadline. That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you, actually. I was talking on the drive back. I called Los. I called Los. And we were talking. We were like, dude, this trade deadline might suck for us because I mean, especially me, who's now, he's like, now you know what I feel every year. I'm like, well, yeah, now that what Yankees farm and getting into all these prospects and starting some relationship with some of the guys and also seeing them develop and knowing that kid is probably going to be a stud and then they get shipped away or Rule 5 and they never really got a shot. It's going to hurt, man. And I told Los, I think this year the Yankees are not going to stay put like they normally do. I think this year the Yankees are going to make some moves and it's going to hurt from the prospect side. And at the end of the day, if it makes the club better for this year and puts the Yankees on top where they need to be, you have to, because we have to prioritize winning no matter what. And I think you're right, Pete. I think that the Yankees may put, now that Augustine looks like Augustine that we all were talking about before, Augustine might be the guy that they look to be the catcher of the future. Ben Rice might not be that guy. So Ben Rice's trade value is as high as it's going to be right now.
Yep.
So why not go ahead and trade Ben Rice right now?
Look, one thing, and again, we're going to get to, right after this, we're going to get to the voicemail from Dr. Jeff. So he'll talk to us a little about the fracture that Anthony Rizzo has. But I want to bring this up because
Anthony,
it's not a knock. It's not a knock on Augustine Ramirez. Dane brought up that, maybe would the Yankees call him up to play first? No. He's not major league ready at first base. That's not a knock on Ramirez. Look, he should be developed as a catcher. Power hitting catcher. The guy has a great arm. Let me tell you something. The Yankees have done a very good job of teaching guys framing. If he works on that and develops that, you want a Goose at catcher. You 100%. Want him there. You don't want him anywhere else. He got a cannon for an arm.
Something
you
the
want
Yankees
him
need right now
at catcher. And I'm right there. I'm right there with Kev. I believe he should be positioned to be the catcher of the future. Even if they leave him all year in AA. And say, just spend a whole year there, keep working. You're going to be a top 100 prospect. You're going to be one of our top prospects next year. Get him up to the AAA level. Let him get to Major League camp. Work with these guys and develop him as the next catcher for this team. The thing about Rumfield is, I think his name might be asked about, but I think Ben Rice is the hotter ticket right now. That's why I think he will not be called up, in my opinion. I think the Yankees are going to let him keep tearing the cover off of the ball. And when a Tanner Scott or Luis Rengifo, somebody like that who they know they could take, put right in the lineup, not be concerned about him, I see Ben Rice being a guy that they move in a big deal.
Luis just got hurt though. Was it a big injury? Or
I think it was a wrist contusion, not broken. Okay. So he might miss a couple of games, and that's it. Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
And we were, and I, funny enough, we were talking about that while we were there. I was at an event. Shout out to Frank Luna, Sports Nuts, and Cards at Belmar. It was a Augustine Ramirez signing out there. And we were actually talking, his brother-in-law was there. We were just talking about the Yankees. And it's like, yo, when Rizzo went down, we were like, holy crap. Like, we know that Rizzo's a guy who a tough guy. For him to go down like that, so who's the next guy up? And it's a conversation that everybody's having, and the Yankees can't piece this away with another guy. It has to be Ben Rice or TJ Rumfield. So I'm hoping that they do the right thing and call one of those guys up.
According to Ken Rosenthal, who broke this news, he's saying the Yankees are going to go with DJ LeMahieu and Cabrera. And let me just be the first one to repeat myself of what I've been saying for a while. It is a losing move on behalf of the Yankees if that is what you decide to do. Because let me tell you guys something real quick. Guess who wouldn't do that? The Baltimore Orioles.
No.
The teams that are looking to win this year, the Dodgers. Teams that are looking to win this year would not simply go, these are two bench pieces. Because let's be real. I love Oswaldo Cabrera. I love DJ LeMahieu. At this point right now, Kev, they're bench players. These are not starters at this league. I'm sorry. I don't see that no more.
No, you're right. You're 100%
and there's no evidence
right.
to back it anymore. There's no evidence to back it anymore. When's the last time he got an extra base hit? Does anybody know?
No, last year. I mean, you said it earlier.
Right,
I think it's on All Rise. I think you said it's 50 plate appearances, no extra base hit. That's not good
this year. Not good at all.
That's not good for a guy that you want. I mean, listen, he's also right now just in your 9-hole. He's not hurting you, but he's not the fastest guy either. No. And listen, man, as much as people love DJ LeMahieu, and I'm not gonna criticize the signing. Let's pass that. It was a good. We would have been up. We all would have been mad if the Yankees wouldn't have re-signed them.
Of course.
So again, this guy hitting in the 9-hole when the bases were loaded. What did everybody think he was gonna do? We thought he was gonna hit into a double play.
100%, 100%, no doubt about it.
So Gleyber's struggling. I've never thought that I would say this, but man. That Gleyber at bat sums up. It was the tip of the straw that broke the camel's back. You're 3-0. You see 2 strikes down to Johnson, and then you swing at a ball at the other batter's box on the floor. Terrible. First of all, if you want to take the first strike, because that's something that even Soto does, and that's something that you're fine. But you got to be thinking at that situation, it's, if I get anything middle high, I'm driving this to the outfield. Even if it's a fly ball, I get a sac fly. Yep. And that's all you got to think about. Why are you thinking about anything else? At that moment, you just got to elevate that ball. When you're 0 strikes, you should not be looking at anything that you can chop low that you can roll over on. Because if they give you anything high, you can handle that and take that to the outfield. Listen, I've talked to a lot of guys who played minors and all that. Any pitches chest and belt high, you should be able to take that to the outfield. There's no ins, ands, or buts. Okay, so
yeah, that was the game yesterday. I said it with Francis live 100%. Right there. When they didn't capitalize right there, that was the game. And I want you to let me get to the voicemail. Then I want you to talk about.
Jeff J.
I want you to talk about actually the stolen bases yesterday because you got a little bit of input on that.
Oh yeah.
I want you to definitely take a little time to talk about that. But let's go ahead and get to the voicemail from Jeff.
Sorry, Pete. I don't know. I got cut off. I don't know how long I was talking there with the line cut off.
I'm gonna get it.
Rizzo, green stick fracture. That's uncomplicated. Typically 2 to 8 weeks for it to heal, depending on level of nutrition. My guess, he's probably better. He's probably fine in 3 weeks, and then they're thinking 2 weeks of rehab, which is why they gave the 4 to 6 week time period. He'll be able to work out the rest of his body, just not affected until that fracture is completely healed. I say bring up a kid, but only bring up a kid if you're going to let the kid play. None of this DJ plays the majority of the games and the kid gets, 2 games out of the week or pinch hits. None of this Peraza bullshit that we had last time. Play the kid or leave the kid down in the minors developing. Anyway, going to go back to listening in on what you and Dana are talking about. God bless everybody. God bless and more about you, and have a great night.
Appreciate you, Jeff. And I'm sorry your first one, I think your first one was a little messed up because I couldn't hear it when I tried to play it. So I deleted the first one from you. But it looks like right there you're saying he should be fine in about 3 weeks based off what you think it could be. With that being said, you're probably still looking at, a good 4 or 5 for Rizzo. They're not going to throw him right back in there. But
he said there 3 to 4, and then you can rehab after. So that will put you at around 6 weeks.
Thing. Yeah.
But it's like you're 35, so give yourself an extra week. Why not at that point give him a 60-day, and you're able to call a guy and save a roster spot? Because you put him in a 60-day, and then you say, all right, we're looking to keep one of these two guys in TJ or Ben. We're going to call up the guy that we believe in and see what he has. Yep. Right, what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Rizzo's not coming back next year. And if you re-sign Soto, you spend money that way. Don't give me DJ LeMahieu at first and Oswaldo at third. So it's like you got to see what you have somewhere. Either at third base, you're either going to play, and it's not Cabrera. I'm sorry, and I love Oswaldo. I love him. He's a great guy.
We all do.
And he's a guy who can play anywhere. And he's a great clubhouse guy, and that's might be his great purpose, where he can play on days off and cover guys, right? But you're either going to need a guy at third base, you're going to need a guy at first. That's the guy that you got to give the roster spot to and see what he's made of. Because if not, then what are we doing? Last thing you need is to come next year with Soto and your bench pieces, and Jason's probably going to be all right, but you don't know who's going to play third or first, and you put any guy, now you're struggling, and you got a guy hitting like Trent Grisham playing every day.
No, you can't. And again,
not a shot at Grisham, by the way.
It's a losing move on behalf of the Yankees. To me, it's just a losing move on behalf of the Yankees. You can't do that.
No.
But I want to talk to you about yesterday, because I summed it up a little bit. A lot of yesterday's stolen bases, if you watch it again.
Yes, we have to watch it again.
These guys had gigantic jumps. Yes. I rewatched this because yesterday in the moment, you're reacting as you're calling the game in the moment. There was a couple of them I watched again, a few from Duran. Duran's almost halfway down the line before the ball is even in the glove of Trevino. No, I don't care what his arm is. Nobody would have threw him out.
Boston has, especially Duran. How many did Duran have yesterday alone? 4?
I think 4. I think he had 4 stolen bags.
Duran's one of the fastest guys in the league. Listen, you got to understand one thing. Does Trevino have an arm? No. But he's been able to throw guys out. We've seen it, correct?
Yeah.
Again, the Yankees need to work on, especially since you know that your catcher doesn't have the strongest arm. The pitchers need to either start. I get the pitchers are creatures of habit, but due to the game-changing bigger bases, you can only throw over twice. You got to change something. Stroman was so easy to all Stroman does is look once, look back, and he goes. Correct. So again, and that was something that somebody told me that I wasn't looking over, and I'm like, holy shit, you're right. I went and looked it over. So, and he's his time is 1.7. So that means by the time he releases the ball, it's almost 2 seconds. That's the jump that the guy has. By the time the ball reaches the plate, who do you think is going to throw somebody out that way? That's almost 3 seconds or 2 seconds and a half.
Yeah.
So how are you going to throw guys out when your pitchers are not either trying to quick pitch or trying to throw a guy over or change you're a creature of habit, so you have to change things a little bit. If a guy's on first, instead of you looking once, look twice. And then the next time, look once. Change it up where the guy can't time you up that way or doesn't know, because at the end of the day, you got to help your catcher out as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that was all on Trevino. As much as everybody's killing him, it's not all on Trevi.
I rewatched it.
Stroh took his time on a lot of those pitches.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, about Trevino, which does not help him, is he doesn't have a fast pop time. His pop time is like 2-point-something seconds, which actually for a major leaguer, that's below average for a major league catcher.
Correct.
So he also doesn't have that on his side. But we do got a super chat from Jeff J.
Thank you for being a friend.
Jeff says, based on how he fell and held his arm, wrist or forearm, 4 to 6 weeks means a small fracture, likely green stick. That's 2 weeks for a young, healthy person, 8 for elderly. 4 to 6 is trash can crap. Play to kids. See? I mean, I think we're all with you,
we were
Jeff.
just talking
we want
about
to play him
that.
too.
Yeah, Jeff, we said that he's 30. I mean, whatever age he is. I mean, 35, 38.
35. Yep. They're at 40, 47.
But he's on the older side. So even if the normal is 4 to 6, you got to give him an extra week or so because he's just an older guy and needs to get in rhythm. Yep. So why not just put him on 60 and call the guy that you believe in? You guys saw the list that we said about the draft, about the Rule 5. I mean, you got to protect some of those guys. I'm highly on Will Warren, on Selvage, on freaking Caleb Durbin. I know he's hurt right now. It sucks. But then you also have TJ and Ben Rice. You got to make something up, bro.
Yeah. And again, man, I just wanna restate all of our opinions here have aligned. And I don't think there's one person I've seen in the chat that has said the right move is DJ at first base, Cabrera at third base. And I also just want to throw this at there. Nobody has said this
from any channel analytics and those guys. Nobody's calling for DJ Waldo.
I have not seen
for the first time,
person,
Pete,
another network. I think we're all in agreement.
We're all in agreement.
Nothing's gonna get clipped and be like these guys are nuts. They're being negative or whatever it is.
No,
nothing's gonna get clipped today because I think everybody's on the same page here. It's the wrong move to make. This is not rocket science.
Yeah.
We're watching the same game as these guys.
Yep.
It's not like we've seen DJ LeMahieu come. It's like, man, LeMahieu's hitting 310. You got 3 doubles already. I mean, guy's smacking the ball. It looks like regular DJ. Nope. DJ LeMahieu now, in these 50, I know it's 50 at-bats. I get it. This is the worst DJ LeMahieu I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks old. And I hate saying that. He's still a young guy, but in baseball terms, he looks old.
Yeah.
He looks old. That's all I could say. He looks old.
And there's nothing with having a guy like that on your roster that can play third and first and come in and play maybe 3-4 times a week. But what's wrong with giving him a day off? You give other guys days off, but you won't give DJ LeMahieu a day off who's older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, Pete, we have to – we're going to see. I was just talking with Carlos. We're like, listen, I know that makes sense about calling one of the kids up, but this is the Yankees. And that's Carlos telling me from Yankees Farms.
He's right. That's the problem.
And this is why I feel like I tell Pete this all the time. I feel like this channel and NYYU is the way it is because we just don't cover our mouths. We say what we think. We say what the fans think. And you can't patch shit up. This is not what's that commercial, the guy that throws patches on everything? A Flex Seal?
Oh, Flex Seal. Yeah.
We're gonna make a meme.
Boat. You could take it back on the lake. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. You can't Flex Seal this shit. You can't.
It's not the Flex Seal Yankees.
Exactly. Thank you. You can't do that anymore. And this is not gonna fly in October. You can't expect just Judge and Soto and Volpe to carry the offense. It's way too top heavy. It's way too top heavy.
Kev, if I'm a team coming in to face the Yankees, I'm literally saying something very easy. Do not let Soto and Judge beat you. Pitch around 100%. Them if you have to. If they walk, no problem. Let the other guys beat us. The other guys beat us. That's the best way right now to face the Yankees. We got a super chat from Nick. He says, Pete, Kev, are you guys feeling confident against the O's and Braves this week? 2 dynamic teams that can expose the glaring holes with this club. Kev, before I have you answer that, are you okay to stay on for a little longer or you gotta jump off?
No. All
right, go ahead. How do you feel about these next 2 series coming up?
Listen, I think as much as everybody's saying that the series of Boston, obviously in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't change much, but you never like losing to Boston. I don't care.
Agreed.
Even though they've been in last place for the last 4 years, 3 of the 4, okay? Remember that, Boston fans, for you guys who are trying to come at us, right? It's the first series of the year. You guys got us this time, fine. But again, I think there was a serious meaning either in between players or in between the team and be like, all right, we got the O's next and we got the Atlanta Braves after.
Yep.
We cannot let this this become a snowball effect where the Yankees lose 4 out of 6 in the next 6 games. The Yankees have to win the series in Baltimore to recoup that. And I believe they have to win against Atlanta at home. I think they got to take 4 out of 6. They have to. And if they're going to lose a series, it'll be the Atlanta. They got to win or even sweep the O's, which I don't think it's going to happen. But if you sweep the O's and lose the Atlanta series, I'm okay with. But the Yankees have to make a statement with the O's coming in the Bronx.
I almost believe that this O's series is going to come down to offenses. The O's don't have great starters going.
No.
The Yankees have Cole, but Cole, you can't really sit there and go, he could throw his 105, 107 and give you 7 innings. That's probably not going to happen. We do got Louis Hill going that last game.
I think he's going to throw 85.
That's what I'm thinking. 85 tops is probably what he's going to be at. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to both of those teams' offenses. The bullpens, again, these are 2 teams that, look, they should probably be very aggressive at the deadline. Who's going to do more is going to tell you a lot about both of these clubs because they both have holes. But let's get into the next voicemail we got. It's the one and only Macho King.
Macho King in the house. How you doing? Put it on the ground. Yeah, Rizzo is out. And I hope he has a very long and restful recovery at home. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, we got to call up TJ Rumfield chicken rice, fried rice with queso, I don't care. We need to bring up these kids, or else why have them in the first place? Trash can and baboon need to wake up and stop playing these has-beens and never was-es. Because we've had enough of it. We gotta win these games against the Orioles, and thank God Cole family's coming back. Everyone have a good night and stay macho. Oh yeah, macho.
There's the match out. That's what I was waiting for, man. He always has the match out ready to go, but it's a very valid point. That is a very valid point. At the end of the day, why do you have these guys in the system for if you're not going to utilize them?
Yeah, and it seems like, look, we were talking about this as well. Like, Thorpe had his debut, right? Randy and Brito are all out pitching. You guys mentioned why is Andre Gomez down there. What are we going to continue to do with guys like that we brought on? We DFA Dennis Santana. Why are we keeping? I mean, I get Caleb because Victor Gonzalez. When Victor Gonzalez came in the other night, I told my wife, "Watch, this guy's going to give up like 2 runs." And boom, boom, I was like, "Jesus Christ!" Victor either comes in and gets a 1, 2, 3, 5 pitch inning, or comes in and gives up 2, 3 runs. You never know what you're going to get with Victor. And listen. At the end of the day, if you're not going to give these guys even a chance in the bullpen, you got Warren as well, who we all thought we were going to see this year. You had Beater as well. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for?
Yeah.
No, why are the guys that you pick up from the street better than
more
guys
valuable than the minors? Yeah.
The guys that you've developed and spent millions of dollars on.
This has been the problem that people have with the Yankees for years now. That's exactly it right there, is that they are just unwilling. Beater's on the IL right now, but still, to your point, he was available for a minute. When he gets back, he'll be available again, and the Yankees will probably pass on him again. It's what they've done for a long time. A guy like Neely, I talk about a lot because he's an opposing ass figure. He's 6'8". He's been doing it in AA for a long time. Who's the strikeout pitchers the Yankees have in the bullpen? Who's the guy that misses bats?
Do we have any?
That's what I'm saying. Do we? Can you win? Can you win in the World Series with like that? Can you win in the postseason with guys that, if you got team got second and third, no outs, and you go, shit, you need a Dylan Betances here. You need somebody that could easily come in and strike guys out. As Lowe says in the chat, Neely's ready. What does he got to prove in AA? He's a strikeout artist.
Another guy that will lose in the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah, and Gomez has been great. I mean, you got to get these guys up. I just don't understand the logic from the Yankees in some of these moves. It just doesn't add up.
And Neely again is pitching in AA, where again the better pool of talent is AA. You guys saw Jason Dominguez hit 300 in AA and then hit 400 in AAA. The better pool of talent is AA. That's where you want to focus. Where your guy is doing that,
no doubt.
Neely's
Slim Lewis says, "Can we acknowledge that Stanton is a below average DH? And on base percentage below 300 is horrible. Stop setting the lineup based on salary." Look, I actually, it's funny because I talk about Stanton. One of the big things that bothered me about Stanton is if this guy actually walked a little this year, he'd probably be hitting like 255, 260. But he doesn't walk at all. And I'll be honest with you, I got a conspiracy theory on that. I don't think he wants to walk.
Why does he want to run?
I don't think he could run. I know this might sound nuts to some people. I think he's unwilling to take a walk. That's why he swings at some pitches that are 5 feet off the plate.
It might. Listen.
It might sound nuts, but I don't know. I don't think this guy wants to take a walk.
If it's a 2-2 count, 3-2 count, I'll give him that. But when you're 1-2 and 0-2, you can't be swinging at those pitches. You just can't.
Of course not. Of course not.
Because you also got to see pitches. You also got to help your lineup out. If a guy is cutting through your lineup, you can't go up there and be a 1-2-3 pitch at bat. You can't.
Yep.
And that's what he does sometimes. And he's a fifth, and he's batting fifth in the order.
No doubt. No doubt about it. Let's get to one more voicemail, guys. We're going to get ready to wrap up today.
Hey, what's going on, my brother? My brother Pete, what's good, man? God bless you all. It's truth always. Brother, I got a serious question. Think about this. All right, let's say Jason Dominguez gets back in full form, right? And then Spencer Jones also. What are we doing with what are we doing? Are we going to play Spencer Jones at first base? Because he can't play the outfield. We have Soto, right? Let's just say we sign Soto. We obviously Judge right there, right, in the middle. And then we have Alex Verdugo, right? What do we do? If, like I say, all right, we get Dominguez. So what do we do with Spencer Jones when he's ready to go? He's going to have to wait, like, what, another 5 years to get going? Is he going to play outfield first base? I mean, I think we're going to have to trade someone. You know what I mean? Just think about that. You know, just as I thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, you know, if Dominguez comes, he's playing left, right? We're going to choose Dominguez over Spencer Jones. It's just confusing there. We're going to have to trade somebody to get some pieces back. I'm saying, you know, if we got first base open, I mean, I know everybody's talking about Ben. Makes sense. You know, but I'm just thinking about that. Just an idea. Take care, brother. Peace.
Appreciate you, my guy. Look, I'm gonna say something really quick about Spencer Jones that a lot of people aren't gonna like. Probably. Spencer Jones has things he needs to work on, man. You guys gotta let this guy develop. You guys gotta let him play in Double-A. You gotta prove that the dude can tear up Double-A like a lot of all the like Anthony Volpe has done, like Jason Dominguez has done. Again, we were saying this in spring. Like stop the comparisons about Jason Dominguez. Jason Dominguez is a phenom.
Yeah.
Jason Dominguez is a rare talent. He's a guy that you don't just look at and go, hey, he's all right. No. He's a guy you keep.
We've been saying it.
And don't start to hold this guy's injury prone. I've already seen it in comments 100 times.
Jason?
Trade him now because, now he's injury prone because he checked swing and he did something on his side. Guys, the guy had Tommy John surgery, which just about every damn major leaguer on planet Earth goes through at some point.
Yeah.
Always gets. And he had an oblique injury. I mean, look, this is a kid who's performed at every single level he's been at. This guy is a rare talent. Before you think of moving anybody, you figure out a spot for Jason Dominguez, and you let these other guys prove that they deserve to be on the New York Yankees. That's the way I see it. And Dominguez has proven that. Nobody else has.
Good thing Carlos is there. Carlos, can you let us know? I don't think Jason has served any time in the IL before the last 2 years.
I don't believe so.
And you're there. I know they had a break because of COVID, but since he ramped up in rookie, I don't think I've seen Jason go into the IL, and Carlos is there. So, again, just because he had TJ and he comes back from TJ, who you don't have your normal ramp up when you're on TJ because you can only move certain muscles and work certain parts of your body. And then he pulls something now. That's nothing. 7-day IL, whatever they give him now. Again,
I've had a ton of comments already. Injury-prone player, trade. I'm like, some of you guys are at your mind. Yeah, Brophy says right there, no, he hasn't.
He hasn't been hurt.
He's only been hurt with the UCL and now. So there hasn't been a constant trend of injuries here. You know, look, we all love prospects here. That's why NYU, I feel like you do get the best information because we're learning a lot about these guys. We're getting relationships with a lot of these players in the minor leagues also. My thing is, I get that Spencer Jones is highly ranked. There's a lot of people that love this kid, but he has to prove it. This was my point in the offseason.
Yeah.
When people are going, oh, Pete, but he's great. Why would you trade him? Why would you say that? I never said anything wrong. I never said he's a bad player. I said he has things he obviously has to work on. And look, some of those things have showed its ugly head again. In spring training, he couldn't strike out. He's not even missing a baseball. Double-A started. He's striking out a ton. There's things he has to work on. So
who did that the year before?
Jason.
And what happened to Jason? Did he struggle in Double-A?
Nope.
And in July, what happened? He went on fire. Listen, we're just saying that Spencer needs time. This could be he could do the same thing as Jason, and next thing we know in July, he turns it around. But again, it's when it clicks. We can't be worried about Spencer now because the guy that's coming up, it's going to be Jason. And there's a spot for both of them when Spencer is ready, when you think about the grand scheme of things. That we're not going to talk about the offseason now because we're still in June. I don't want to talk about the offseason. The Yankees still have games in front of us like the Orioles and the A's and issues that we need to solve right now before we even think about the offseason. So right now, it's either TJ or Ben. And if the Yankees don't do that, I think we need to go and stand with the tiki torches in front of Yankee Stadium and be like, call up Rice or call up DJ.
Let me tell you something. It's basically what fans did when
For
with Peraza. It's the same situation here. Look, and again, before anybody, thinks of this in another way, I am Pete Simonetti. Okay? I for years have told many of you about the team and said, no, I get they got off to a great start. I don't believe it. I don't think this team is winning anything. This year's club
is different.
I really believe they are different.
And
I really believe
can I ask you why
team can win.
Why do you
really do?
What do you think is one or maybe two reasons that you think that tell you that it's a bit different than 2022?
Let me tell you something, man. Juan Soto won. I just say Juan Soto won because, again, for years I've called for it, and it's happened. He makes the lineup so different. You can never say the Yankees are out of the game. And two, the team, the chemistry of this team seems like they're laser focused. This team,
the chemistry, baby.
For once,
you can't buy that.
Like we got each other's back, and we can win with the guys on this club. All the other years, you look at it and go, it's kind of bullshit. I don't see it. I don't see it. So my only ask for the New York Yankees is don't be who you were. Be risky. Take a chance. Do not be that same club. Be the smarter team. Go young. Give one of these guys a shot. Again, I love DJ LeMahieu. I've called for him to be re-signed when it happened. I like the move. I like Oswaldo Cabrera. A World Series team does not have two bench pieces starting. It doesn't happen. It will not win. You shouldn't do it now going against the best team in your league with you, the Baltimore Orioles. Put your best club out there. And right now, if they go the way Ken Rosenthal is saying, it's not their best team.
So and Pete, so you mean to tell me that Garrett Cole's coming to make his start back, and you're gonna have fucking DJ LeMahieu and Waldo?
Yeah.
And listen, again, it's not a knock. It's not a knock on Waldo. Waldo goes on these stretches, and again, is a great bench piece because he could play anywhere, and he has a great attitude. You know what Frank said, that when they ask him, what's your favorite position to play, the kids ask him at the signings, he says, wherever the manager wants me to. And that is an exact great answer. And that's exactly what he is. He's a great bench piece. And I don't think he's upset of that either. Like every club, when they're successful, they have great bench pieces because they have guys that they can plug in and will live up to the moment. And he definitely has. He had hit big home runs in October, and honestly, in that Houston series, it was him and Soto. So again, he's had these stretches, and it's not a knock on Waldo. If anything, you bring in a guy like TJ, he gives you the defense you need. You have DJ at third, and maybe you could play some Waldo at second base. Give Gleyber some days off. It looks like Gleyber. Honestly, listen, people wanted to come at us because we were talking about sitting Gleyber for a few games because that's going to make him better or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's something. Listen, baseball is hard, bro. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's not that he just needs to go out there and see at bats. No, maybe he needs a mental break, dude. Maybe he needs 2 days off. You ever thought of that?
It's like I said before. Or this is very simple. This is again, this stuff is regular life stuff. Maybe when you feel you no longer have a stronghold on a position, you think of your position different than you were before. Maybe you sit him a couple of games and go, hey, look, you're right. We may not have the options, but guess what? If you're not performing, you're not going to play. So I'm going to get, you got it. We're going to bench you a couple of games. Maybe it makes the guy think a little bit. Well, the high leg kick isn't working. Maybe I got to go to that toe tap a little more. Maybe
he talked about it so much in the offseason. I don't know why he's not doing it again.
I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking because obviously something needs to change because he's not this bad. He's not this bad.
No. I believe he's better. He's way better than what he is right now. And this is not, and again, not a knock on Gleyber. We'd say trade him and get rid. At this point, I just think he needs a break because when he goes on fire, he's a completely different. If we see the September of last year of Gleyber batting fifth for this Yankee order, holy shit! And I just want to say, shout out to Booney. Hold on, Pete. Shout out to Booney because Booney has the answers and he says it all the time. The Yankees have the answer. Hold on.
Boone. I'm a big fan of Boone.
Listen.
It's right in front of us.
It's right in front of you. They're in Scranton. Call them up. Okay? In 2022, all of us, 50% of Yankee content creators said, even Michael K, IKF is not a shortstop.
Facts.
IKF is not a shortstop. And it took you to the ALCS, to an elimination game, and the ALDS to bring up Peraza and play him at short? It took you that long for you to notice that you didn't have a shortstop?
That's what I'm saying. Don't make the mistake again. This is not hard. This is not hard. And the reason why, I hear people say this too, the Yankees record, the record. Guys, at the end of the day, who gives a shit about the record? Yeah, it's great. They're in first place. But guess what? The Baltimore Orioles, 1, aren't far behind, and 2, the record doesn't mean dick when you get into the postseason. It doesn't mean nothing anymore. We've seen wild card teams win. Do I want to win a division? Of course I do. But at the end of the day, they got to stop this idea that we can just Band-Aid problems. We've all known this to be a problem. With Rizzo there, it was a problem. We're talking about this because nobody in the... Let me tell you something. You want to hear something crazy, Kevin?
Tell you something.
I tell you what. Let me tell you what. Here's something I'm going to tell you guys right now. The Yankees infield, besides Volpe, has been so bad. Nerds are talking about batting average. That's how bad they've been. You got the guys that say batting average doesn't matter. Now talking batting average because how bad they've been. That tells you everything you need to know.
They never bring that up. They bring on base percentage, and not even good.
Now they're talking batting average because everybody's hitting 220 or less.
Yeah, correct.
Now it matters. Okay.
By the way, also, doesn't Volpe look like a better hitter now? We were just talking about focus, gap to gap.
Way better player.
The 20 home runs are not there, but look where he's at in the lineup, his on-base percentage. That's what he's here for. You got guys that put the ball out of the park. You don't need to get a guy scraping to hit home runs, and then that sacrifices where truly his power is, where it's being on the bases and creating havoc on the bases. But yeah, man, I really hope the Yankees, and we're gonna wait till tomorrow, maybe 2 hours before the game, because they love to do that. Because they love to do that shit. That's when they'll announce it, because they don't like to announce it early. But honestly, I would have loved to just hear it right now from the get. The Yankees call up TJ Rumfield or whoever the fuck, or Ben Rice, whoever it is, man. But
me too. And Brophy said something that I just hope doesn't happen. And he's so right.
Brophy, what did he say?
Right.
What did he say?
He said the Yankees will probably go with these guys until it burns them and then look to make a change.
Oh, my God.
And that has been, unfortunately, that has kind of been the Yankee way over years past. And that is why, again, guys, I'm not saying it only for NYYU. I don't give a poot if you like another content creator out there and they're saying things that you like. This is why content creation in the year 2024 is so important, because our voices matter. We are the voice of the fan. The way we're growing this year is not coincidence. It's because people get it. They understand that NYYU is talking for you all. And in these moments now where we all are on the same page, this is when the voice needs to be pushed more and needs to be loud, that we want our New York Yankees to go with the best options. And yes, do we know all the questions and the conversations? No, we don't. We don't know all of that. But at the end of the day, on paper, what we do know is that the New York Yankees should not be sticking with DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera. This is really simple.
Yep, and I mean, you said it great there, Pete. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And tomorrow's game season is gonna be lit. I can imagine, because if the Yankees go out there with that lineup again, Nestor, the way he pitches at home, and again, I think the guy tomorrow is the guy throwing tomorrow, the one with
Suarez, I believe.
Suarez, I think he has
Albert Suarez, I think his name is.
He's 3-0. He has a decent ERA.
Yeah.
But game 2, which is on the 19th, the Yankees have going against a guy with a 4 ERA. If the Yankees can't hit that guy, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Pavlik or whatever his name is, something like that.
Yeah, that's why you win tomorrow. You get the guy with the 4 ERA next day. You got 2 already in the bag, and you can do whatever you want. You got Luis Hill. You got Luis Hill, game 3. Who you can fucking sweep the O's. Let's wake up, man.
Yep. The O's fans in the chat are not excited about that Pavlik start, per what I've seen some of them say. So we got a couple of super chats before we wrap up. Slim Lewis says World Series champs equals DJ and Rizzo are bench pieces. And then Mike DeLaGuardia says it's going to be an issue if the Yankees end up in second place after this series under Booney's umbrella. But by the amount of time Cora punked Boone, I'm not confident. Not confident. Well, look, man. The records are what the records are. We understand that. Baltimore and the Yankees, I believe, are the 2 best teams in the American League. Arguably the 2 best teams in baseball. I truly do believe that. I believe that in the offseason, and I believe it right now. I think these are the 2 best teams in baseball. Juan Soto can only do what Juan Soto can do. Aaron Judge could only do what Aaron Judge could do. So Anthony Volpe and Verdugo. Other guys got to step up, and the New York Yankees must take risk. And I almost feel like a TJ Rumfield almost isn't even a risk because you got to believe the glove will play at least.
Yeah.
So we'll only time is going to tell. Put it that way. We're going to find out.
At the end of the day, I like to just make a simple comparison. You know what teams you're going to probably be looking at in the postseason. Right now, you already have 2 months and a half of framework. That's enough, a body of work that you can judge what you have. Look at the Dodgers' 5th and 6th hole hitter. Look at the O's 5th and 6th hole hitter. Compare them to you. They have Teoscar Hernandez and Will Smith.
Correct.
We have Giancarlo Stanton and Gleyber Torres.
Correct. 100%.
That is telling.
Difference.
That is telling.
Yep.
I'm just saying that. You can't go in October with these guys. I mean, listen, I love what Giancarlo did. I'm not saying DFA him or anything, but Giancarlo sitting twice a week now is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
going to shout out Johnny Lasagna. Johnny Lasagna said this on a post game a long time ago. At some point, you got to understand who Stanton is. Stanton's a guy that comes off the bench against righties, could play against lefties. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. At this point of his career, you can seriously make that case.
I agree. I mean, again, I agree. The Yankees used to have big guys who come in big. Wouldn't it be nice to have Giancarlo on the bench and be able to pinch hit him in the game too as well?
Of course. I mean, look, why not? There's a lot of guys at the bottom of the order that he could easily pinch hit for. It's not like he wouldn't get at bats. He'd get at bats almost every day.
Correct. I agree. The Yankees need to be more aggressive with that. That's what you need to do. You sit them twice or 3 times a week, and then some of those games, if there's a pinch hit situation, you have there's no better pinch hitter than Giancarlo Stanton.
No,
if you think about it. So
definitely not. He's perfect for that situation. He could run into one and all that. We already know.
Or he could hit a single and roll his ass to first.
or do something like that, yeah. But at the end of the day, guys, look, time is going to tell. We're going to see what happens. The Yankees start a huge series. I cannot wait for Game 6 Live tomorrow, guys. We got it covered for you. It is going to be absolutely huge.
Huge.
So let's hope the New York Yankees make the right move. Again, Ken Rosenthal is kind of saying what they're going with. I don't know if that's 100% locked in. Maybe I didn't read the article, but maybe that is more his assumption of what they're going to do. Maybe that's what they said they'll start with and go from there. I don't know what else TJ Rumfield has to do or Ben Rice, but hopefully one of them get a chance. Kev, any final words?
No, man. Just be excited because Cole's back, and Cole has looked really good. We saw him live in Somerset, and the guy looks, his fastball was 95, 96 there. So, and we know he wasn't pushing it because, again, it was a rehab start. So, be excited for Cole coming back. That's a huge upgrade for the Yankees at this moment. And shout out to Poteet because he handled those 3 starts perfectly and while Schmidt was down. So, it made the Yankee decision easy. They didn't have to kick anybody out for now. So, shout out to that. And let's hope that the Yankees make the right decision and call up one of these guys.
I'll end with what Adrian Perez said right there. Write Rice or TJ on a piece of paper and put it under your pillow before you sleep.
You'll wake up and see a DJ LeMahieu Topps card under.
Facts. You're gonna pair of DJ batting gloves from the next day. So that's how the Yankees will get us. But guys, with that being said, we are gonna bounce out of here. We did about an hour. You know, this is like the old school live chats. I love doing these during the season. We don't do as many as we do in the off season, but when we got time like this, we do those. We are planning our next nights at the round table. So stay tuned for that, guys. I'll update you when we have that. And with that being said, peace out, guys.
Allá hablamos, mi gente.
See you next time.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text. From